Welcome back to FD, where today we're looking ahead to the Women's Euros with some of the major stories, unbelievable stats, and key players to watch out for at this summer's tournament. 5. A new winner. Though this will be the 13th edition of the Euros, the tournament has generally been dominated by a select few sides. Just 4 different nations have lifted the trophy, with Germany winning an astonishing 8 times, while Norway have 2 triumphs and Sweden and the Netherlands 1 apiece. But there's good reason to think that 2022 might see a new name join that elite club. France, England and Spain all place among the top 10 sides in the world according to FIFA's rankings, and each team has a legitimate shot at the silverware. Spain may have lost last year's Ballon d'Or runner-up Jennifer Hermoso to a knee injury, but they have the award winner herself, Barcelona star Alexia Putellas, who won the Champions League in 2021 and delivered 13 goal involvements in 10 continental matches this season. France's squad is so strong that coach Corinne Diacre felt able to leave out Lyon's current UCL holders Sarah Bouhaddi, Amandine Henry and Eugénie Le Sommer, with PSG's Marie-Antoinette Katoto leading the line instead. And England have a point to prove, having failed to make the final of a major tournament in 13 years, but energised by a home field advantage for the first time since Euro 2005, when they finished bottom of their group. This time round, the Lionesses are coached by Sarina Wiegman, who led the Netherlands to glory in 2017, and are bolstered by a raft of stars in golden form. Veterans like Lucy Bronze and Ellen White continue to shine in their 30s, while Beth Mead comes into the tournament on the back of 19 goal involvements in 22 appearances for Arsenal last season. And 21-year-old Lauren Hemp may be the most exciting of the lot, the Manchester City forward heading to her first major competition with England after winning the PFA Young Player of the Year award for an incredible 4th time in a row. With 6 teams boasting title odds of 7-1 or better, this year's Euros could prove to be one of the tightest and most unpredictable for years. If you haven't already, that'll make it easy for 2022 to be the year that you fall in love with the women's game. 4. A top scorer battle for the ages. Just as tight a battle as the one for the trophy will be the individual quest for the Golden Boot. The Women's Euros have traditionally been low scoring, averaging just 2.19 goals per game at the 2017 edition compared to 2.78 at last year's men's competition. And that makes a free scoring forward all the more valuable, with plenty of stars heading to the UK in a lethal mood. Some English betting companies still rate England's Ellen White as most likely to finish top of the pile, despite a poor campaign in front of goal, which saw her net just 4 in 22 league appearances, and barely scraped double figures in all competitions. More likely to provide the Lionesses cutting edge is Beth Mead, with 6 goals in England's last 4 matches at the time of writing, including a brace against the Netherlands, to bring her to an astonishing strike rate of 0.57 goals a game for a nation, better than Messi for Argentina. Her clubmate Vivianne Miedema will be leading the line for the Netherlands, and has arguably been even better, bagging a goal or assist per match for the Gunners, while her record of 92 goals and 109 international appearances at the age of 25 makes her an obvious pick for the Sharpshooter Award, though sharing the limelight with Barcelona's Lieke Martins could eat into her goal tally, with the 29-year-old hitting 17 and 21 last year as the Blaugrana did the unthinkable and completed a perfect season in the Spanish top flight, winning all 30 league games. Her provider Putellas will be Spain's danger woman, breaking into the box from deep. And Germany and Bayern Munich star Lea Schuler will be a contender too. But our favourite is Marie-Antoinette Katoto, who finished top scorer in France this year for the 3rd time in 4 campaigns. Now 23, the striker, who was born half an hour from PSG's Women's Stadium, has bagged 24 and 29 for Les Bleus, and hit 32 and 33 in all comps last term to rank as Europe's deadliest markswoman. Our prediction, the most high-scoring Euros in years. 3 and 2. Politics on a bigger stage. While many sports have long sought to separate themselves from politics, many women's footballers embrace their ability to make their voices heard on issues both inside and outside of the game. In line with other major football competitions, the 2022 Euros kicked Russia out of the tournament following the invasion of Ukraine, opening the door to Portugal. But beyond that, this summer's tournament will also once again see debate renewed about the status of the sport. Northern Ireland's fairy tale road to this summer's showpiece, more of that later, was sullied by coach Kenny Shields' description of his players as more emotional than men. And it's hard to avoid the conclusion that women are still seen as second-class citizens in the global game. With the venues chosen for this summer including huge, internationally renowned grounds like Wembley and Old Trafford, but also stadia which feel insulting to the quality of football on show. Both Leigh Sports Village and Manchester City's Academy Stadium will host matches, despite seating 8,000 and 5,000 spectators respectively, the latter having the smallest capacity of any major tournament ground since 1997. However, there are some positives. The Netherlands has joined Spain and the US in committing to pay their female footballers the same as men, and while these policies continue to be the exception, not the rule, they do offer the promise of a better future, where women's football is not hung up on endless talk of where the game has come from and where it's going. After all the evidence suggests that the sport is already a flourishing spectacle. Nearly twice as many people have bought tickets to attend the competition as there were for the previous edition in the Netherlands, and seats for the final at Wembley sold out within an hour, meaning that if all those spectators turn up, the match will break the attendance record at either a men's or women's European Championship fixture, currently held by the 79,115 who showed up to the 1964 men's final at the Bernabeu. And that's part of a trend across the board. A global audience of 3.6 million people tuned into the 2022 Champions League final, a 56% increase on the previous year as Lyon beat Barcelona 3-1 to claim a record 8th crown, and they're 6th in the last 7 attempts. Over 91,000 Blaugrana fans packed out the Camp Nou when the Catalan Giants beat Wolfsburg in the UCL semis, the most of any women's game since 1971. And in the UK, viewership of the women's sport tripled, and the length of time viewers spent watching women's sport doubled. An insane year-on-year improvement driven by better coverage of the WSL during its tightest title race in nearly a decade. With millions more fans ready to cheer their countries onto glory, the 2022 Euros will take place in the new world. It's only heading in one direction. 1. Northern Ireland's underdogs. Ranked 47th in the world when they made the cut, Northern Ireland go into this summer's Euros as the lowest ranked team ever to qualify for the tournament. And while that makes them favourites for an early exit, especially in a group featuring Austria, England and former champs Norway, simply reaching the competition will feel like victory for the Green and White Army, who have overcome more than a few tricky matches to earn their time in the limelight. While Northern Irish men have been playing international football since 1882, the women's team was only made official in 1973 and never got the backing it deserved, handed a miserable £1,000 a year to pay its expenses. As a result, between 1990 and 2004, as the women's game took off globally, Northern Ireland rarely put out a women's side, the country playing just 15 recorded games in the aforementioned time period. Restarted by players sick of their second-class treatment, the team has slowly been rebuilt, but had never earned passage to a major competition until 2021, when they edged Wales in a tough qualifying group to make a European Championship playoff, where they beat Ukraine 4-1. And to make that story all the more remarkable, the team is still largely composed of part-timers. 22 members of the Northern Ireland squad do not play for professional teams, and have only had access to proper training in the last 7 months, with the country's football association finally setting up a programme for them in Belfast. That will see them train 6 days a week for the first time, taking players out of their ordinary lives as shop workers, civil servants and hospital support workers to undertake individualised conditioning sessions and tactical analysis classes. You might not back them to go far in the tournament, but no team will value their place at the Euros more than Northern Ireland, or mean more to the fans back home. This could be the year which changes the course of the women's game there forever. So team, that was 5 things to look out for at the Women's Euros. But what have we missed? Let us know in the comments below. Click on screen now for more great Football Daily content, and remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on.